So guys, the crypto markets are trading sideways right now. We have some key events happening this week. We already had one event happen today with the Moody's downgrade report. Overall, right now, guys, there's a lot of mixed sentiment in terms of where we're going to be going. Altcoins potentially going to be ripping up quite significantly. But right now, we have a little bit different perspectives based off of Bitcoin dominance, percentage zones, what we saw in previous cycles, and also potentially what we could be seeing in the next few weeks. Today, I want to walk you through the price action, the news events that are having an effect on the market, key zones that we're keeping up with to let us know when altcoins are going to get the liquidity that they need, and everything you need to be aware of. But if you're new to my channel, go and check out the rest of my content. I keep you guys updated on the day-to-day events, price action on Bitcoin, Ethereum, altcoins, how liquidity is shifting, and overall exactly what you need to be aware of so that you can make those crazy gains. Guys, everything is trading sideways right now. We are waiting for specific assets to break specific zones. Right now, like how I said, we have, previous percentages with, charts like Bitcoin dominance, USDT dominance, Ethereum, and multiple other assets to let us know when altcoins, actually get the liquidity that they need because these assets peak out. But right now, everything, like how I said, is trading sideways, and you need to be aware of what's going to be happening in the next few weeks. So with all that being said, let's go to jump straight into it. So guys, like how I said, the crypto markets are trading sideways. We have been seeing Bitcoin pump up and down all of today with the Moody's downgrade, pretty much the credit report and bureau, causing a downgrade in pretty much the U.S. credit, which is not really good, causing a lot of mixed issues and also rising the government debt. A lot of people are calling this a political move, and this is causing mixed sentiment with crypto investors, and as a result, risk assets are pumping up, they're going down, and this is pretty much what's going on. I told you guys about this yesterday, and there is some key events happening this week, and like I said, not one specific event has a huge effect on the market, but all together really causes a chain reaction. But Bitcoin right now is chopping up and down, currently sitting at around 105,000. This is still a great zone to be sitting at, showing that it's creating higher lows and is on the verge of ripping past that all-time high. Ethereum currently right now is sitting at 2518, also seeing a rip up, but pretty much just testing this resistance zone to see if we're going to be breaking through. Altcoins, guys, on the total 3 chart are pretty much following the same price action around Ethereum, seeing a little bit of green, but kind of returning a little bit of the gains that we saw in the past few weeks, which is why it's a great time to start looking for a few different positions based off of your portfolio. Right now, guys, though, Bitcoin dominance is starting to shoot right back up. About a week or two ago, we saw this chart just deviating quite significantly, which is why altcoins were running up super hard. But we're starting to see, investor liquidity move back into Bitcoin based off of the percentage zones that we're seeing with Bitcoin dominance, slowly wanting to reclaim that 64-65 region. Right now, USDT dominance, though, is crashing down slowly. Like how I said, trading sideways, pumping up and down. Just showing exactly where liquidity is moving into. Basically, everyone is, wondering exactly what's going to be happening. So as a result, we're seeing USDT chop up and down. More than likely going to be seeing a little bit of recovery in the next day or two. But these big events that are having an effect on the market, guys, the Moody's downgrade report, which is today, which is honestly one of the biggest reports that was going to be having an effect on investor sentiment. But we do have a few different data points that are going to be coming out around specific industries, and this is really going to point to the fact on how the economy is looking. Like I said, not one specific event has a ginormous effect, but altogether it causes a chain reaction. Like I said, we saw the Moody's downgrade report. A lot of people are calling investors stupid based off of exactly what is going on with this. Investors selling their bags, anticipating lower valuations, but at the end of the day, it's over, it's done with, we're moving forward. Crypto Mitchell gives his perspective based off of the price action of what we saw on the weekend. He says, typical weekend move on Bitcoin, sweeping the high for liquidity and reversing back downwards. Now that move is over and Bitcoin is back to 105,000, ready to test the all-time high in the coming 1 to 2 weeks. Altcoins to outperform, and guys, altcoin investors feel super bullish based off of exactly the price action that they're seeing with Bitcoin, and they say Ethereum is going to be catching up quite soon, and we're going to see altcoins start to outperform. But there's all different types of perspectives, so this is where you got to have two different perspectives and just understand exactly both sides of that, which I'm about to show you. Crypto Missional also gives his perspective around the deviations that we've been seeing with a few altcoins after ripping up super hard. says in an upwards trend, small corrections are the moments to step into your positions. That's the spirit in the upcoming period as we're slowly trending higher with the altcoins, which, like how I said, I've been showing a few different videos talking about the altcoins you should be looking into and the sectors you should be looking to as well. And right now when altcoins are starting to see a little bit of deviations, cool off period, this is where you should start at dollar cost averaging and start allocating to different positions and potentially getting more on your portfolio. But understand your risk tolerance and invest wisely, guys. This is not financial advice, but Crypto Beast gives a good perspective based off of the crypto total market cap and currently what we're seeing. Everyone says we're going to be ripping up super hard, but at the end of the day, there is another side of that coin. He says, I'm 100% ready for this scenario if it happens. Are you? And he just shows a picture of the total crypto market chart and just a guesstimation line showing a pump up and then a super deviation showing that altcoins can return a lot of the gains that they've been seeing in the past few weeks more than what they have already. And this is where you got to be ready for both scenarios, guys. On this YouTube channel, I keep you guys updated with all the information, how liquidity shifts, which is why I start the video showing you around Bitcoin, Ethereum, Total 3 chart, Bitcoin dominance, USDT, because you need to know how liquidity is moving and how sentiment feels around these assets. And you need to also understand that there's two sides of every scenario. It's super bullish right now, but at the end of the other bad end of the stick, we can also see deviations and return a lot of the gains before we rip up. It's all based off of the macroeconomic events, how data starts to come out. The Fed, more than likely going to be having a meeting in June. There's a lot of different things, guys, that are going to be having an effect. But on this channel, I keep you updated with all that information. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and just keep the ball rolling. I'm gonna keep you guys updated with everything. Just don't capitulate your bags. But Benjamin Cohen has been talking about Bitcoin dominance like crazy, and like how I said, if you understand Bitcoin dominance, USDT dominance, and what these charts showed us previously in previous cycles, you can see that it pretty much showed the top for Bitcoin and when liquidity shifted fully back into altcoins. And I want to give you the perspective around Benjamin Cohen and why he defends Bitcoin dominance in a whole and why you need to be aware of this as well, even though, us altcoin investors just want to see altcoins run up. He says, I guess it's time to defend my Bitcoin dominance views again. And this was back in 2023, considering the pullback. Please note the dominance just had 10 green wicks in a row off of a 49% jump. And then from here he goes, why don't you ever post when Bitcoin dominance goes down? He's saying this because people are always talking about that. He says, here's the Bitcoin dominance chart since late 2022. The only red Heiken ashy candle is after dominance hit 60%, which was my conservative target. And you can see, guys, on the monthly view, Bitcoin dominance has just been running super hard ever since 2022. This just goes to show exactly how liquidity has been moving. And at the end of the day, Bitcoin has been having all of the liquidity ever since that time period. Moving forward, Benjamin goes on to say, with the exception of January of 2021, which was, of course, whenever we started to see the rally at the end of the altcoin cycle in the 2018 and 2021 cycle, Bitcoin dominance plus ETH dominance, USDT dominance, USDC dominance likes to top at around 82%. This is where I tell you guys the percentage zones are super important, and the more you understand them, the more you can kind of predict what's going to happen. He says in January of 2021, this metric went to almost 90%, right before everything started to shift liquidity. Currently, we're at 79.64%. So we're around 10%, guys, away from the previous zone that metric saw before liquidity just completely shifted back over. So we're very close, but at the end of the day, no one knows exactly how fast this is going to happen. But I love to show you guys percentage zones like this and exactly what we saw in previous cycles to give you an understanding on somehow to predict how this is going to be happening. And this is why it's super important to keep up with different perspectives from crypto analysts, investors, traders, even if they disagree with your perspective. This is a great chart just showing you exactly what has happened previously and what could potentially be happening in the near future. I'm gonna keep you guys updated with all this information, so make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. My portfolio right now, guys, it is going up, it is going down. On the 7-day, like 4 days ago, I was up around 80 to 90 to 160% on a lot of these assets. Slowly, everything is returning a good amount of gains. But I talked about it yesterday. A lot of these assets have made higher lows. I know a lot of people are feeling skeptical because they probably just allocated to the project and then starting to deviate. At the end of the day, guys, we're starting to see just a little bit of deviations, nothing super crazy. Right now, all these assets are starting to, show a lot of strength and recovery, creating those higher lows, higher highs, not higher highs, but on the verge of making those higher highs. And right now, we're pretty much just waiting for more information to let us know if altcoins are going to be shooting up or if we're going to be trading sideways still. But swiping everything to the side, guys, that is currently what is going on. We have some macroeconomic events happening this week. We have sentiment jumping up and down in the markets. Crypto is pretty much jumping up and down. Bitcoin dominance is starting to see a little bit of recovery, and there's a few different perspectives as to where we're going to be headed. Right now, altcoin investors are super bullish, which you should be bullish as well. You should be dollar cost averaging, looking into good assets, but you need to be aware of these events that are going to be happening, the price action that is going to let us know if we're going to be deviating or ripping up, and just everything else in between. And on this channel, I keep you guys updated with all of that stuff. So if you're new to my channel, go ahead and check out the rest of my content. I keep you guys updated with all the price action on Bitcoin, Ethereum, altcoins, how liquidity is shifting, the news events, and everything you need to be aware of so that you can make those crazy gains. Guys, altcoin season is on the cusp. I know at the end of this year, I'm going to be making a video just saying we did it. We did it, y'all. But knock on wood, I don't want to jinx us. It's all about showing up, keeping up with all of this information, and just learning more and more while other people capitulate their bags and step away. You have to lose a lot before you win, guys. That's just how it works. So make sure you stay with it, stay going, and do not slow down. I'll keep you guys updated with all this info, and hopefully I catch you guys in the next one. Peace.